my computer audio.
LimeVibe, from every line, from every bar. LimeVibe, from every line, from LimeVibe, from every line, from every vibe. LimeVibe, from every line, from every vibe. LimeVibe, LimeVibe.
Good night, everybody, and welcome once again to another LimeVibe Live podcast. I'm your host, Yuri Kemp, along with our beautiful host, Miss Kimberly Ramkalawan, our beautiful co-host, Miss Kimberly Ramkalawan from Trinidad and Tobago. So, good night, Kim. How are you?
Good night, Yuri. How are you?
How'd go?
I'm
How'd go? All right. Hi, Irie.
Irie.
Yeah, Irie, man. So, what's happening here? And
It's Monday after a long weekend. Well, not a long weekend. Yeah, we had Saturday and Sunday, but it was a fun weekend here in Trinidad.
Mhm.
I think you saw me post up some pictures and some videos.
Yeah,
We kicked off jazz season here in Trinidad.
yeah, you had a circly video, one of those circly videos.
Yeah, the 360 videos of me dancing from Marvin Gaye.
Circly video. I want to do a circly video, man. Something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, it always looks cooler. It just makes you look
Mhm.
like you're in this real party vibe and
Exactly.
you know.
It's really cool, man. A circly video. And
Yeah.
my cousin as well, she went to the Lizzo concert on Saturday. And her and her friend, she put up a circly video too. So I said, "Oh, shoot, this is circly video weekend."
So Lizzo was in the Bahamas then.
Yeah, she was in the Bahamas on Saturday, yeah. And she was half naked as usual, shaking her big tail end. A hippopotamus.
Oh my God! Don't say that, Yuri.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe she gets naked like that. And she's so my goodness. But she's body positive though.
That's
She's
good. Honestly, I admire Lizzo for being that way.
Mm,
She is able to embrace who she is
mm,
and flaunt it, and that's confidence. That's what
yeah,
women, you know, you need
yeah.
that. Not everyone was born to be skinny, and
That's true.
so
That's true. Just take a look at me. I'll never be one of those skinny, wiry looking fellas. I never was in my life. I don't think I ever will be. You
yeah.
know. So I understand exactly what you mean. So shout out to kudos to Lizzo for being so confident in her body.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a circle where they always saying you're too thick, you're too fat because they were too skinny and they saw it's like it's
Yeah.
strange for you to be covered that way.
Yeah.
And I've always been covered. I've always been thick. The only time I've ever been anything skinny was when I was really, really sick and throwing up my life.
Nah.
But no, that's not going to happen. I'm healthy. Well, mostly
Yeah.
healthy. And good.
Yeah. When I was younger, they used to tease me for being fat too, and tell my cousin told me, say, at least you're healthy. I said, I look back at it and say, something, you're right. I never felt bad about being fat again because I see, something, I'm healthy. I have a healthy appetite. I'm healthy, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Then I
mean,
realized some sportsmen, it has nothing to do with their size. It has something to do with their fitness. And I'm fit. I can run a 10-minute mile right now. And I'm 43 years old. I can run a 10-minute mile right now, Kim.
Wow, I can't do that. I mean, I can never do that actually. I mean, what I do is do a few laps swimming and stuff like that.
Oh, you swim? You're a swimmer?
Yeah, I'm a swimmer. I will swim.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to hear my secret shame? I learned how to swim about 4 years ago, and I still can't swim that well. I am a terrible swimmer. If you put me in the deep end, I may be able to paddle across to the other side, but let's just say I would drown if left in the open water.
But you're living on a smaller island than Trinidad, not so I would anticipate because of the pristine waters that you all have, that you all must be near being a fish.
No, not me in particular. I just refuse to swim. There's no reason to, man. I mean, I just can't swim. It doesn't appeal to me. I'm not swimming. I prefer the bush, to be honest with you. I prefer going in the bush. I like hiking and stuff, but not swimming.
Oh well, you could survive in Trinidad because we have you know, this is hiking season right now where
Okay.
they go mountains and the hills and the forest and they hunt they hike and they hike up to the waterfalls and even down to the ocean.
Yeah, because you guys like to hunt those capybaras, right? And those iguanas.
Um, do we have capybaras? Capybaras only started coming across recently with
Okay.
Venezuela.
Okay.
But what we do have is the deadly mapapee snake. It's
The
poisonous
Maccabee snake. Wow.
snake. So if that bites you,
Mhm.
that's it. You're a
Oh
goner.
wow. Is that poison you
The
call them the Maccabee snake?
map it's a mapapee,
Ma-
Mapepire.
Mhm.
Mapapee. I think it's a French Creole term,
Mhm.
and it's venomous. It's all one
Mhm.
venomous snake.
Yeah.
And we have coral snakes as well. That's also venomous. Um, and if in order for you to get the antidote, you've got to go all the way to the east, which is Sangre Grande.
Uh,
And that's the
you'll
only
die on the
hospital
way.
that has. Yeah. So no, I mean my husband and my dad, they have stories going hiking. My sister goes hiking.
Mhm.
Uh, and I think the tour guide actually held back one of the ladies on the trail
Mhm.
and stopped her from stepping on one
Mhm. Mhm.
because they blend in so well with the leaves and the bushes and the branches and things.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like the bush for that reason.
I never knew Trinidad or the Caribbean had poisonous animals. I thought this was pretty much virgin territory.
No, we actually do have we have caimans. I think
Mhm.
I told you about the caimans.
Yeah. Jamaica has caimans too, don't they?
Yeah, I think so. They've got those big reptiles.
Mhm.
So it's much more than hunting. We've got deer. The only wildcat we have in Trinidad is the ocelot.
Mhm.
But most people go hiking just to see the nature
Mhm.
trails, the waterfalls, the trees, the fauna, things like that.
Mhm.
I'm
Okay.
I'm not
That's not you.
no, jazz is more my thing.
Oh, okay. So you had a jazz festival over this weekend, didn't you, in Trinidad?
Yes, I we did. It brings together the Caribbean actually.
Mhm.
It's jazz artists on the greens. It actually it brings together Caribbean artists. It signals the start of jazz season here in Trinidad. It's one
Mhm.
of the more authentic jazz events that we have locally here in Trinidad. It's
Mhm.
put on by Production One.
Mhm.
They're a company, they are into the jazz genre. They know how to marry, you know, the actual jazz standards in America
Yeah.
with Caribbean music and it's artists that understand those jazz standards.
Mhm.
So, you know, all music here in Trinidad is the calypso, the kaiso, and then you marry it with American jazz standards.
Mhm.
To me, it's a beautiful combination. It meshes well,
Mhm.
and you know, it brings it's this fusion of music. We usually have artists from Cuba. We have
Yes.
Barbados. This year we had Elon Trotman from Barbados.
Mhm.
We sometimes we have bands from Martinique and even Brazil. Some bossa nova style music usually comes across. So this year we had Andy Norell. I
Mhm.
call him an honorary Trinidadian because of his training with Eli Manette,
Mhm.
who is one of the pioneers when it came to tuning the pan and steel pan in Trinidad. I remember Winston Spree Simon was responsible for the steel pan here in Trinidad.
Mhm.
And I think Eli Manette, he was based in Brooklyn and he came across Andy Norell and he took Andy under his wings. And I think because of Andy, we actually hear steel pan on jazz stations in the US and
Mhm.
across the world actually.
Mhm.
And he
Okay.
plays quite a lot in the cotton clubs in Japan. And so when you go abroad, I mean, there is some jazz festivals that I subscribe to in Seattle
Mhm.
and California, and they play a lot of Andy Norell music.
Okay. With the steel pan.
Yeah. And then we had Elon Trotman. He's based in Boston, but
Mhm.
he's of Bajan descent,
Mhm.
and he came across. He usually comes across, and this year he featured his tribute to Marvin Gaye. That was his last album. So for
Mhm.
3 years we did not have any jazz festivals.
Because of the COVID.
2020 I had gotten my tickets, and week- 2 weeks before the event,
They
They
close
had
up.
to put one beat because everything shut down because of the pandemic.
Mm.
And I was waiting for bated breath, with something, something.
But
'Cause it's
2023, you're back.
Yeah, Caribbean jazz. It's under the sky, on the greens. You're dancing with the grass under your feet, the stars above, and good music, live
Was it at
music.
Savannah Grass?
No, it's not a savanna. It's a savanna, but it's a
Okay.
ground. It's a ground in yeah.
Okay.
What's that? St. Joseph. Wassa
Okay.
St. Joseph. It's surrounded by trees and it's really nice. It's like a garden atmosphere. It's like a picnic atmosphere. Everyone's friendly. You see people, crews come out and they set up with their tables and the chandeliers and wine is sharing.
Mhm,
Picnic, you've got platters of food sharing among each other.
mhm,
It's really a friendly vibe.
mhm.
And then you go off stage and you're dancing and shuffling across the stage.
It's a LimeVibe.
It's a line vibe indeed.
It sounds really nice and mellow, man. That's something that I know you're interested in, man. You love jazz, don't you?
Yes, I grew up listening to some jazz artists because of my uncles. I attribute my love for jazz from listening to music with my uncles. Even my mom, the radio stations would play jazz,
Mm.
and it mostly would play smooth jazz, but they actually had records and they would listen to some things like Bossa Nova,
Yeah.
the Sergio Mendes and things like that. So because of me tuning into those things, it's like I gravitated towards it. It was a mellow thing that I identified with for
Mhm.
some reason. And I remember listening to growing up watching the Cosby Show, Grover Washington Jr.
Yes, yes, yes,
featured
yes.
heavily in the Cosby Show. And I always heard that Trini music. It's attributed to Ralph McDonald, who is a percussionist in the Grover Washington band.
Mhm,
And he gave that Trini fusion to
mhm,
it. So whenever you hear, just the two of us with Bill Withers, you
mhm,
hear that kind of Caribbean vibe with the pan playing in the background. You
mhm.
always were intrigued. It's like, that's Trini. It's not as a little 8-year-old child.
You
Not
could hear
hearing
it.
it's only until later on you hear the composition. Oh, that's Grover Washington band. He has Ralph McDonald in the background. So your
Mhm,
uncles and everyone, they'll tell you those stories, and that's how you hear and learn about music.
mhm. Okay, okay. That's cool. That's cool, man. So that's an international festival and anybody could come, or that's just for Trinis?
Anyone can come. I mean, once you buy a ticket, they had a streaming service. So you
Mhm,
pay for your streaming, you can watch online
mhm,
and tune in. It's really good. It's a production company that puts it on. So
mhm.
it's guaranteed quality for sure.
Okay,
You
okay.
know that.
That's good. That's nice, man. I saw you with your boy, you with your husband too, Kerry.
Yeah, I drag him. Since he met me, he's been my one companion to jazz events. I make sure and carry him with me everywhere. People may think he's a jazz lover, but he knows nothing about jazz.
Yeah, yeah. I could tell by the way he was dancing. He was just off with them. You were the one
Oh,
who was digging it.
I was just doing my thing, That's
Yeah,
me shaking,
yeah.
trying to look active. Because really, those 360 video booths, all
Mhm.
you do is stand
Circly
on a
videos.
circle,
They're called circly
right?
videos, Kim. They're not 360. They're called circly videos.
Well,
Call it right.
no one is going to know what the heck are you talking when it says sickly video. What's a sickly video? So
They are circly videos.
you just stand there and the camera just goes round and round you, you're not moving at all. You're just, grooving.
Yeah. The circly videos. I'm gonna do one of those though. I gotta find a place. I think they have one at Atlantis. I'm gonna go to Atlantis just to do a circly video.
And yeah, choose your own song to go with it, I guess.
Yes, yes, yes. Of course, absolutely, of course. And do a circly video. I give things my own names, I don't care, man. If I don't know what it is, if I'm ignorant, I don't know what it is, man. I just find it cool, like how a friend of mine, she was in a different type stockings. So I call them stripery stockings because they weren't like the traditional fishnet stockings, right? So I call them stripery stockings. You say, Yuri, what the hell are you talking about? I say those stripery stockings. You can tell I'm ignorant.
I think that guy, that's the male species for you.
Yeah, I
They
wouldn't
usually
know. I wouldn't know
get
because
names.
they weren't the traditional fishnet. They had all kind of designs on them and everything. So I call them stripery stockings, man, because they weren't really fishnets. That the way I know fishnet stockings. So I call them stripery stockings. And I don't care, you know. And then she fixed me. She said they're fishnets, Yuri. I said, well, fine then, fine. So I'm gonna find me a Circle video, and I'm gonna go to Atlantis. Next time I'm gonna find me a Circle video. I'm gonna do a Circle video.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
So who
So
else?
what's going on? Oh, who else performed? We had Andy Norell. We had our local guitarist. I call him or Trini George Benson, Clifford Charles,
Mm,
and he's usually really good with the bass. We
mm,
had Dr. Len Boogsy Sharp. I think you heard me speak about him
mm,
during Carnival because he's a pan arranger here in Trinidad. He's
mm,
responsible for Hadco's Phase 2 Pan Groove.
mm,
So he performed with Clifford Charles, and we had our songstress Charmaine Ford.
mm,
They are all local artists here.
mm.
We had some people, percussion, drums from, I think, I'm not mistaken, one of the Caribbean islands. They brought them here.
Mm,
I think it was Martinique. So we
mhm,
had a good few foreign artists, but they were more part of the larger bands with the main artists.
Okay, okay. That's cool. That's cool. So you had a good array of people, a good arrangement of people that came over. That's good. Yeah.
And then we have a good bit of festivals. So now till probably September. So
Mhm.
this goes on. It leads up to St. Lucia Jazz Festival. I think we have Tobago Jazz Festival, which I call a pseudo jazz festival because it's really a
Right.
music festival. It doesn't really feature jazz. It features more musicians
So,
that come.
so
It's more music festivals, and it's not
okay.
jazz, not
So
singing jazz.
they need to change the name then, call it a music festival, right?
Always said that. I've always told them, it's like, y'all need to change the standard.
Mm,
They call it jazz. I mean, and same thing, St. Lucia Jazz Festival used to have authentic jazz. You would
mhm,
see the Wynton Marsalis, you would see the big bands, Chick Corea used to come, and I think Chick Corea, well, he passed on last year.
mm,
And we had those authentic jazz musicians from the States headline
mhm,
festivals like St. Lucia Jazz.
mhm.
But now it's been taken over by more R&B artists and other musicians,
Bringing in rap
right?
style, 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg
Yeah,
next. Yeah, I know.
yeah. I don't see that being a jazz festival.
I thought it was only us
And
who was junglers. I thought it was only Bahamians who was junglers. They'd have a gospel concert, and they would bring in who they would bring in? They'd bring in R. Kelly or something like that, and they'd be totally off. Right? I mean, R. Kelly's even good because R. Kelly's done some gospel music. They would bring in someone like who? They're bringing Tony Braxton for a gospel concert. That's how ratchet he is. I'm tired of going to parties in the Bahamas and Nassau, and like the jazz bar I go to on Friday night sometimes with my cousin. It's supposed to be a jazz bar, and all of a sudden they just go straight into hip hop. Like, how do you go to hip hop? How do you start with jazz, mellow jazz, and start singing hip hop and start singing soca? That just doesn't mix, man. What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
yeah, I mean, that's it. And I was telling one of my former colleagues today, it's like Jazz Artists on the Greens is one of the more authentic festivals that keeps to the genre, whereas everyone else, they gravitate elsewhere. You
Mm,
headline, you see Marshall Montano come on
yes.
Destra, and they turn it into a fete,
Mm.
singing soca. And I really so you all got an entire season, carnival
Yeah,
season to do
yeah,
that. You all
yeah.
got multiple fets. And there are other artists, but they say us, we really want party. And I was talking to Tony Paul. He's one of our saxophonists, Anthony Woodruff.
Mm,
That's his real name. And we were talking about the jazz festivals in the Caribbean. He said, people really don't want to hear jazz. We would love to hear jazz. That's why we're
yeah,
here.
yeah.
We appreciate the genre.
Mm,
Well, other festivals, they're more about making the money,
mm,
and they're more about promoting musicians and the pop artists. So
mm,
you'd see the pop artists and them headline. I mean, I don't mind seeing Earth, Wind and Fire at
mm,
a jazz concert because their R&B music and things like that, people usually take it and cross over. You would hear it on a jazz station at times.
yeah, yeah.
And Maurice White, the founder of Earth, Wind and Fire, he was a true musician.
Mm.
to the sense that he appreciated what it took to write music and everything like that.
Yeah, Earth, Wind, and Fire, they were a different group, weren't they? I mean, they weren't really disco, they weren't really funk. They were just a different group. They broke the genre. They came with something new, and that I think that's why they're so long lasting and so memorable, because they really changed the game of sound, man. You know,
Yeah.
very few groups do that, and they changed that whole dynamic of how you listen to music. And Earth, Wind, and Fire was one of those, man, one of those groups.
And the thing is, I think they even actually crossed over
Hmm.
from being, those bands that were only traditionally black only, but
Yeah.
everyone was listening to them as well.
Yeah, indeed.
So,
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
I
Yeah,
mean,
wasn't
Smokey
wasn't
Robinson
exactly
did
rock.
it too, and I could listen to Smokey Robinson anytime. We've actually had Smokey Robinson and Al Jarreau when Al Jarreau was alive here in Tobago and Trinidad. We had Steel Fest, which was a pan jazz festival at one point in time. Pan jazz used to be a thing as well. That's no longer in existence, but it would feature all the pan bands, and I really enjoyed things like that. So
Smokey Robinson is still alive, you know. I mean, and he
I
looks
think
good
it's
too
still
for
alive.
80.
But Al Jarreau passed.
Aldro Pass, yeah. With Smokey, if you go to I think he did a recent interview with Vlad TV, and he's about 83 years old, man. He's still looking good, and he still has all his memory, all his faculties. He looks good, man.
I saw him dancing last week. It's like he was putting down the grooves. It's like,
Yeah, man.
Smokey, you could still be pregnant, maybe.
Yeah. He has some classic iconic songs, man. Tears of a Clown.
Yeah, you can listen to Smokey anytime.
Yeah.
His voice is so distinctive. It really can put you in a mood and a frame of mind. When you want to romance your partner, you put on some Smokey Robinson.
Yeah. Only other person that I think that could evoke that kind of passion out of me in particular, it's talking about the old guys, is Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder has a lot of hits, man. You know, Ribbon in the Sky. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
And
man.
I'm a big Lionel Richie fan. I mean, when it comes to carrying my music, Lionel Richie was probably one of the first artists that we connected over. And I could listen to Lionel Richie on repeat. And all I can think of is my husband.
Ah, Lord.
Lionel is when I want to dance a song, it's Lionel Richie. You can dance to all his CDs. I have his albums. You could just listen to it over and over.
Yes.
I think he's
Songs
even
like Penny Lover.
Yeah, Penny Lover.
Penny Lover.
Goes down in my memories of me dancing on my uncle's feet, actually. My uncle dancing with me and my feet are on his feet and he's moving me around.
Yeah.
Penny Lover, that's one thing I think of.
Mhm.
And then I love Stuck on You.
Yeah.
Stuck on You, I think I remember, I think of my parents with that.
Yeah,
But,
all night long, all night. If you listen to the music is arranged perfectly, man. The sound is quality sound, man.
Yeah.
I was Quincy Jones behind him, wasn't it?
He was part Motown.
Motown, okay. Oh yeah, Barry Gordy, right.
Yeah, he was with Barry Gordy. I think I'm not sure what's the influence of Quincy with him later on, perhaps, but
Yeah.
he was mostly a Motown guy with coming from the Commodores and things like that.
Yeah. That's right.
All those things, Lady. And then he gravitated on his own, and then he started writing music for Kenny Rogers and those artists. You know?
Hello.
Yeah, and
Is it
Lady.
me you're looking for.
Time for Lady, you just go on and on about.
Yeah, man. Beautiful music, man. But Kenny Rogers has passed though. I had a little cousin that loved Kenny Rogers and Conflicts.
Trinidad, and in Trinidad, that's our Sunday morning thing. Kenny Rogers. Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton, you'd hear your neighbors blasting.
Yeah, man. Oh Lord. Yeah, because he was younger than me. He was about 10 years younger than me. He loved his Kenny Rogers, man. He used to get his mother's CD, his mother's tape, actually, not CD. He used to get his mother's tape, the cassette tapes, and he used to play the Kenny Rogers all day. Like he was crazy, man. He was a child. What you doing loving Kenny Rogers, man?
I mean, that's like me. As I was 8 years old and I was listening to John Cicada.
Yeah. I only know one song from him, you know. The most famous one, I don't wanna say. Try to understand this love I make. Just another day without you. I know I butchered the lyrics, right? But yeah, that's what I know.
There's Just Another Day. I know Mental Picture because he did that. Mental Picture was for the Specialists. You know, long time when movies used to come out with their soundtracks.
Yeah.
They got the popular. That's when Hollywood married the music industry.
Yes.
With movies. So in
Mhm.
order to promote a movie, they'd often marry it with a song, and a song usually
Soundtrack.
featured, snippets from the movie it was promoting.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
I remember, I think it was Gloria Estefan sang a song for the specialist,
mhm,
Turn the Beat Around,
mhm.
and John Cicada sang Mental Picture.
Okay.
So he sang Mental Picture. That was for Sylvester Stallone and Sharon Stone, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Okay. I'll look. I don't know that song actually. I'll go search it tonight after the show's over and
Yeah.
see what the picture's about. Yeah, because that's only one song I really know from John Scott, and that was it. Just Another Day Without You, and that's the most popular one, isn't it?
Mm, I There's Angel. Angel is
Angel.
very popular. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's the one I used to play over here the most. And I used to sing at the top of my lungs. And don't know the lyrics, I can't decipher all the lyrics of my life. But I'm singing right along with it, right? Just another day without you.
I actually have all his albums because I had a huge crush on John Cicada as an
Uh,
and I blame that on More Music because they used to
mhm.
show when I came home from school, More Music used to be on the TV.
That's a Canadian station, isn't it? More music.
I'm not sure. I think so. And
Yeah.
they used to have that on, and Mental Picture used to be playing at the time,
Hmm. Okay.
along with Joshua Caddison and Sheryl Crow. I think that those were the artists back in the 90s.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I found people like Natalie Imbruglia and Sheryl Crow and the
Yeah.
Matthew Good Band. I used to listen to more music because they had like a different. They weren't like really American pop. They brought in all the Canadian artists and stuff, and so they played a wide range of music, more music.
Yeah.
Natalie Imbruglia.
That's what is Australian.
Yeah, yeah, but more music is a play a lot though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I mean that's the kind of music I grew up with, and that's what I mean. Well, yeah. And obviously you grew up listening to Dionne Warwick and the Burt
yeah.
Bacharach, and my uncle had the Burt Bacharach CD, and that's what I used to be listening to. Okay.
Oh, your uncle had taste, man. Your uncle had good taste, man.
I used to listen to him singing when you're in the car with him. He's playing all his music, and that you're going on. He's probably rehearsing to probably romance some ladies in that.
Uh, I had an uncle of mine. His head wasn't that good, but he turned me on to the Double Dutch Bus, and I picked up on that song years after he passed. And
Really.
this is back in the early '80s. To play that's when he had the 8-track tapes.
Yeah.
And he put the 8-track tape inside the big stereo system, and he's played the Double Dutch Bus. And I didn't appreciate that song until years later. And then recently, actually. And I play it all the time now. I say, something, this is a damn good song, Double Dutch Bus. You should go see the music video online. The music video to have you hollering laughing, man. It's so corny and so cheesy for a late 70s music video. Oh my goodness.
We'll look that up. Yeah.
Yeah, go find Double Dutch Bus and you tell me what you think about it. It's a cheesy video. It has him, the actual singer, and these bunch of kids just dancing, doing double Dutch. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, I know that song. Right. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes. I was listening to that the other day.
yeah. And that's still a good party song, That's like the electric slide sometimes, man. The Double Dutch Bus.
Yeah. I know that one.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, we chat a lot about music, man. You had a good childhood, Kim.
I had a good childhood. Yeah, I'm listening music. The thing is, I always wonder what this generation is going to listen to in the years to come, because to me, I'm not going to remember who sang what in what year.
Mhm.
I mean, when I think of my childhood, I marry it with songs, with movies. And you'd remember a Madonna song because it was linked with this movie.
Mhm.
Even Michael Jackson with Free Willy, of course.
Yeah.
But what are you going to think of when you hear certain songs or any movies? There's nothing really long lasting of any,
Some
you know.
no taste. Now I see why our parents didn't like our music. Because I grew up just when hip hop started to take off. And actually my first ever album I ever bought was Eazy-E's Easy Does It. And my mom didn't know what the hell that was. And she realized how much cursing was in that. A gangster, yeah, Easy Does It. And I bought that when we went to Miami. I was probably about 10 or 11 years old. I bought it with my own money. I bought the Easy Does It album. I was like, wow. I was just so in love with NWA back then. That was when Eazy-E was like the star of NWA before Ice Cube really took off, man.
Okay.
Eazy-E was the star.
If I think of a old school hip hop, I'm gonna look to people like Tribe Called Quest and things like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Tribe Called
No,
Quest. Yeah,
but
I
they
love
have,
them as well. I
yeah.
love them as well. But my first group was Easy E. My first album I ever bought was Easy E. Even before Two Live Crew, it was Easy E. Easy Does It.
My first album, I remember working as a teenager. I
Mm.
actually went and bought something like a yacht rock. You ever heard of the genre yacht rock?
No, what's
That's
that?
easy rock. It's like the Ambrosia and the Chicago and
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. I
kind of
love
music.
Chicago.
So it's an easy rock CD. It has Christopher Cross. It has a lot of Michael McDonald. It has Doobie
Yes.
and yeah, what who
They
else?
call that yacht rock. I call it soft rock.
Kenny Loggins. That has Kenny Loggins.
Mm.
Um, who else is there? Hot Child in the City, the guy who sang Hot Child in the City. Benny Madonis, I think he's the one who sang
Mhm.
He's just 16 years old. Yeah.
You mean
You
Nick
know,
Glider? There was this guy called Nick Glider,
yeah,
hot
Hot
child in the
Child
city.
in the City. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that CD was it was music that reminded me of well, my dad. My dad is more of a rock person.
Mm.
And I enjoy that genre for some reason. I find it's kind of it's romantic yet corny in a bit, but yeah.
Mhm.
So like Doctor Hook, Doctor Hook.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love Dr. Hook, man. Yeah. When you're in love with a beautiful woman.
Exactly.
Yeah, that used to come on. My uncles, they used to get stoned drunk inside a bar, around the corner from where they grew up, and that we used to play it. I used to play it inside the jukebox all the time. When you're in love with a beautiful woman, and that would set them off, man. That and Teddy Pendergrass. I didn't
Yeah.
realize how much stress my uncle was under. My uncle was under a lot of stress, man.
Do
Because
you
I used to
have
play this.
nieces or nephews right now?
You saying?
Do you have any nieces or nephews of your own?
Oh yeah, I do, man, I do. But I'm not really that close to him, because my brother, well, my sister is in Miami, and all my nieces and nephew are with her in Miami, so I haven't had a chance to see them in
Okay.
years now.
Yeah,
And
it's amazing the influence you can have on your nieces and
yeah,
nephews.
that's right. Once they see you moving around, that's true.
Yeah,
And then once they see you doing stuff, but nah, I'm not that close to them though. I wish I was though, but I'm not that close.
yeah. I grew up with my aunts babysitting me. So
Mm.
on Saturdays, my aunts would be listening to the 80s music because they had the 80s countdown. Rick Dees used to be on back then too.
Oh, Rick Dees, the legendary Rick Dees.
And we still listen to Rick Dees, but it's not the same kind of music. But back then, you're just hearing Madonna and Cyndi Lauper and things like that.
Mhm.
That's what the 80s was all about for my aunts, and they were my babysitters on a Saturday, and that's what I'll be hearing right through.
Mhm.
And it stuck with me all through my entire life. I mean, it's quality music though, definitely.
Mhm. Mhm. So remember when Peter Cetera went solo and he left Chicago?
I don't know when exactly that happened, but I know the difference. Peter Cetera came from Trinidad once. He came with John Cicada actually, and I think it
Okay.
was Richard Marx. And there was a concert. I went to that concert. Yeah, I was a big fan of Peter Cetera.
Yeah, man, he had an iconic voice, and they changed. They changed during the early '90s, and you didn't really realize that you changed voices because the guy who picked up who took over from him and he left. I'm trying to
Yeah.
find his name right now. It was who it was no, I can't find the name. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I didn't even realize he left because the guy just took over and they just switched right over. It was like the same sound, the same voice, and everything.
I think so. No, you actually missed Peter Cetera's sound, but
Yeah,
he'll produce quality music because
yeah, Chicago.
he sang that. I mean, even when Peter Cetera left, I still enjoy a good bit of Chicago's music.
Yeah.
My favorite is All Roads Lead to You. I like that one by Chicago, and You Come to My Senses. I think that's one with Chicago after the post Peter Cetera era.
Yeah, will you still love me for the rest of my life? But I
Yeah.
can't go on. I love that song. I play it at work all the time, man. Though I can't go on.
I think Hard to Say I'm Sorry. I think that's it. That's the last one, and it goes to the end of the CD, and it has
Yeah.
this lovely ending and the end of the album. I was still listening, and then you hear Peter Cetera, but
Mhm.
I like old school Peter Cetera, Chicago, 25 or 624.
Mhm.
That song. And then Saturday in the Park.
I'm telling you right now because that "Will You Still Love Me" is a song when they actually switched from Peter Cetera to this new guy, lead singer.
Love Me Tomorrow has Peter Cetera on it.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
that was before this one though. Before "Will You Still Love Me," "Will You Still Love Me" came out in 1986. So by that time, Peter Cetera already left. Actually,
Okay.
he had no, not Jason Schiff. Co-lead vocals, Billy Champlin or Jason Chef.
I'm not too sure of the members too much.
Mhm.
But
Billy Champlin. No, not him. Yeah, anyway, they're not probably important anyway. But yeah, Chicago didn't miss a beat because I'm trying to read Wikipedia on this, and it's like Wikipedia just has all the information, but it's not really arranged properly where you can actually read it clearly. You know?
yeah.
Yeah, anyway, it's not important though. But just once we love the song, once we love Chicago.
And Toto. I love Toto. Toto is my one of my favorite 80s bands.
Oh, Toto. Oh yeah, Brains Out in Africa.
Yeah, well that's the most popular song they've
Yeah.
got, but that's not a good few love ballads. I like 99
Mhm.
and obviously Georgie Porgy. I know everyone thinks Georgie Porgy is corny, but I love Georgie Porgy.
Okay.
They have some really romantic ballads, I think, in the 90s. They came out with Leah and I Will Remember. Those were some good songs.
Okay.
Michael McDonald was featured in a good bit of those. Michael
Yeah.
McDonald was all over, I would say.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, man. He has a song with James Ingram.
Yeah,
Uh, I'm gonna be there. Oh, way, oh. People
Michael
don't
Mc
realize that's a gospel song.
Yes, I know that
Yeah,
they say yeah, Yah will be there.
yeah, yeah.
Yahweh. So
I
that was
didn't
their
realize they were. I
they
didn't realize
snuck
they
it
were. Yeah, I didn't realize they were Christian. I didn't realize that they were religious like that. That kind of shocked me because I was singing that for years. It's just a damn good song.
I didn't realize it. I remember when James Ingram said it, what it was
Yeah,
all about.
yeah. Remember when Michael McDonald was with the Doobie Brothers?
Yes, I know the Doobie Brothers.
And my favorite song, "What a Fool Believes." What a fool believes.
I like Real Love. You know Real Love?
Yeah, I know
Real
that. Yeah, I know it. Yeah,
Real Love.
the
Uh,
Doobie Brothers.
and then he sang obviously a lot with Christopher Cross. And then here we are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
You've
it's
got
famous with Patti LaBelle.
yeah, everyone knows that one, Patti
Yeah.
LaBelle. I think he did one with no, that's someone else. Okay. I was thinking of something else. I was thinking of Patty Austin. But Patty
Okay,
Austin
okay.
did two songs with James Ingram. She
Mm,
did um she did what's that song? Uh Talking All the Night. How's that song? But she did another song with James Ingram. Um yeah. It's a really it went with I think a Gershwin. It was a Gershwin song.
okay.
And
Okay.
it's if you listen to How to Keep the Music Playing, if you listen to that, you will definitely cry. When the news broke of James Ingram passing, it's like that's the only song I kept listening
Oh
to.
yeah, he passed. Yeah, he had cancer, didn't he?
I don't know. He to me when he passed, it was just so sudden. He sang "Baby Come to Me" with Patty Austin, but the other song is How to Keep the Music Playing. That's a
Yeah.
Gershwin song from
Baby, come to me.
and that if you listen to that, you're gonna definitely cry.
Yeah. My favorite song is "I Don't Have the Heart to Love You." I don't have the. I love these sad love songs, man.
That's
These
really
songs that
sad.
hurt you.
That
Yeah.
one is really heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is. That makes you want to cry. I don't have the. Woo!
Um,
That song speaks to the feels, man, Kim. Yeah, it makes you want to cry,
that's
man.
really heartbreaking. I mean,
It
a
is.
man saying that to a woman, yeah.
She wouldn't know what to make of that, man.
It's like, you don't love me. You don't like me that.
What a way to break up with her. That's a cool way to break up with somebody. I don't have the heart to love you.
In this song, to me, it sings that they not being together. I think it was like
Yeah.
he's finding out that she has feelings for him.
Mm.
but it's not being reciprocated, and he has to tell her, "Hey, I don't like you that way. We're just
Yeah.
friends. We're close."
That's a cool way to break up with somebody. That's nice. Or to brush her off, Or to tell
Brush.
her, yeah, I'm not that interested in you.
But yeah, I
Let's
mean,
not talk about relationships. Let's keep the music vibe going. Because I could talk about relationships all night too.
but yeah, music is different now. And
Yeah.
essentially, everyone, all the music today, if I listen to it, it makes me feel depressed. Like, okay, I think I want to just jump off a roof or something.
Yeah, it does. Like, I can't find any particular artist that tickles my fancy. People keep raving and ranting about the weekend.
Yeah,
I can't take that. Yeah, I
I
can't take the
like
weekend.
the weekend. I know. So the weekend has one particular song that I really like. What's his song? Carrie's always mocking me with it. I feel it coming.
Well, yeah, I feel it coming.
And I had really liked that song when it came out. It used to actually play on some of the jazz stations I tuned into.
Yeah,
And and then when I listen to the lyrics, it's like, oh my God. Okay, I'm not singing that anymore.
yeah. You ever take a fancy for two Harry Styles?
No. I mean, last year that song, as it was, it got played so much. But here's the
Mm,
thing, Harry Styles, what I realized with Harry Styles, Bruno Mars, and The Weeknd, right?
mm,
They've pulled that kind of styling from the 80s, right? If you listen
mm.
to their music,
Yeah,
it was from the 80s
yes,
era,
yeah, yes.
right? And that's what kind of, Bruno
Because
Mars has gravitated towards the funk a little bit and some of the 80s. So that's why you would probably like it.
yeah, I fell in love with Harry Styles when he sung "Adore You." That song is so catchy. Girl, let me adore you.
I don't even know that song.
Yeah, you really?
All I know, the only Harry Styles song I know is As It Was, because it was playing all over the place.
Mm, okay.
And I know The Weekend. Yeah.
Mhm. Gotcha. That's cool, man.
Anybody else? No. I think when I hear it, I mean, if you can tell me to differentiate between Ariana Grande and Rita Ora, I can't.
You can't do, yeah, me either. There's one Ariana Grande song I like. That's the one that she said, uh, what's I can't even. But it's so nondescript. You can't even remember what the songs are anymore.
Exactly. It does not leave a lasting impression that
Or it
I'm going,
doesn't.
you know, it's not a long lasting, it's not an impressionable. Because it's
Hmm.
all been done, it's all been sung. It's like, if I can't remember it, it's probably not worth remembering. I
Exactly.
wonder if they feel that.
Oh, all my life, I'm gonna be the one.
That's the thing. Christopher Cross in 1980, he
Mm,
won the most amount of Grammys, right?
mhm,
Now, 40 years later, Billie Eilish comes and topples that record
mhm,
that
mhm,
Christopher Cross laid in 1980.
mhm.
But if you ask me what Billie Eilish song is, I do not know.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that Sailing One, I
Mm,
know what's that ride like the wind.
yeah.
I know Christopher Cross, and that's 40 years. I was not even born there. I was born hearing my dad talk about Christopher Cross music,
Mhm.
right? I grew up with my dad talking about it. I grew up with my uncles listening to it, and it's my music now,
Mhm.
right? But ask me about Billie Eilish winning, the
I can
same
tell
amount.
you, man.
I can't. Album of the year and whatever. No.
Yeah, I can tell you. I thought she was just like a regular, like one of those like Kim Kardashian types. Yes, someone who's known for being popular. I didn't realize she was an artist. I can tell you what song she sung either, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She and her brother sang some weird. It sounded like alien music if I had to put it together.
Yeah,
Right?
these kids are all messed up, man.
Yeah.
Kim, I can't believe we're going to be these old people now, right? We're going to mock these young people what music they're into.
I've
That's
been doing that since I was a teenager. So I've been old a long time, Yuri.
Lord, you old people. You're an old person, Kim.
I was an old person long time because I don't think I was not described. I was described as not the average teenager. I was always described as being weird. I was listening to Bossa Nova, Sergio Mendes. I was listening to the Waters March and things like that from
Mm,
back then. I was listening to Stan Getz, and I was, those were my people back then.
who turned you on? Yeah, I
So
got you.
when I think of music, that's what it's like. What are you listening to? What are you talking about? And I think I told you it's like when I had a crush on that guy, probably I'd write a little note and I had like little quotes of lyrics from these songs. Like, what the heck is that though? They don't have a clue what that's about.
Mm.
You know, I'm
So
pulling it
write
from,
notes to man.
huh?
You used to write notes to your boyfriends.
No, but you would like write in your notebook like little songs and little things like
Oh,
that.
okay, okay. I thought you was the passing notes type, man.
No, 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 no. And then you would probably write each other's names at the bottom of it, you know.
Okay, okay.
That's it. I wasn't brave enough to go on.
I wrote a love letter to a girl once, and I never got a response. I'll never do that again. Never do that again. Write a love letter to somebody. So
Yeah.
I find women don't like those kind of love letters. They prefer you to come up to them and talk to them directly. Show some courage.
I actually had letters
Mm,
from a teenager. I got love letters as a teenager,
mm,
and I would get little gifts and stuff. But
mm.
I could not keep that in my house. So
Why?
I didn't want my parents to find it. They might
That you like
I always
boys?
no eyes, but I did not. It is like if they were to see this could implicate me. I'm not liking just
Kim,
give
what are
me
you talking about? What are you talking about, Kim? Well, let's get to the bottom of this now. Let's get to what do you mean? What are you talking about, Kim? Implicate you in what? What were you doing?
they would think that I'm messing around with boys. This time I'm busy in my school books. It's like these guys just they look like
Ah,
my nerdy self, and I would even be surprised. Like, you have a crush on me? Weird looking
mm,
me. I had glasses on and everything,
mm,
you know.
mm,
Anyway, I got the letters and I would give it to my aunt. And
mm,
my aunt and my husband and her husband would look at it. And some time ago they were cleaning out because they were going to renovate and they found them.
mm.
And they came to me, Kim, we found these things. You still want them? It's like, no, it's not okay. Like, you don't have any need for these things anymore.
Writing love letters.
Yeah, this like so one guy actually wrote, when I have my first daughter, I'm going to name you Kimberly. What? At
That's
14
really
years old, guys telling me this. Like, I wasn't even thinking about anything, you know. I was afraid to even talk to a guy then.
how do those letters make you feel though?
Um, Embarrassed and blushy is like I couldn't think about it because at a certain point in my teenage years, I actually had low confidence in myself. I didn't,
Mm,
I grew up not liking myself too much. And it's
mm,
only afterwards, it's like, whatever, I grew to like me. This is me. I was confident in my wacky self.
mm,
I was always outspoken. And
mm,
a lot of people probably didn't like me because I was always vocal, just like I am here. I
mm.
have this career because of what I was, you know. And so I didn't really think too much about it. I was too afraid to have relationships as a teenager. You know, parents instill in you, focus on your schoolwork,
Mhm.
get your academics, boyfriends will always come. And that's what
Yeah,
I actually tried to do.
yeah. That's right. So you try to keep on the straight and narrow. But
I,
Kim, you're a heterosexual woman. I would be shocked if you were getting letters from women. That would have shocked me. If women were sending you love letters.
I mean, if women were sending me, yeah, I mean, I got letters from girls
Really?
maybe.
You had lesbian admirers?
No, well, no, I mean, when you go to university, there were people that had crushes on you, and so
Okay, I got you.
I don't swing that way. I'm sorry, but yeah.
Hmm.
You ever had any interest from the other side?
I think so, but they never had the courage to really come up and say, I had, they're kind of reserved, they're kind of ladies too, they're hoping that I would come on to them, and I'm not gay. I'm not coming to you, you sissy. You know, they always had, they come on just like women, scared women who want to get your attention, and they really want to get your eye, but they can't really say anything because they don't know how you're going to react. And of course, I'm going to react in a very ignorant way. Get off me, you sissy. No, nothing wrong with them, mind you, but that's not me. I'm just saying, man. But yeah, of course, I think we all do. I think we all have had someone from the same sex who had an interest in us. We all can say that. unless
it,
you're someone who's absolutely hideous.
it was really it was surprising to me because I'm not from that, you know. And I think back then that was when I was in university. So it was
Mm,
kind of quiet. Those things were now, becoming a little more popular and
yeah.
normalized, you know.
I don't like the way the world's going with that, Kim. I think young people should be able to make up their mind on their sexuality. They shouldn't be forced into thinking about sexuality until they've decided that, hey, I feel a certain way about this person, you
Yeah.
know?
But I think it's a popular culture thing, and I think more people is like an in-crowd something.
Mm,
And honestly, I believe that some people that have decided to do that, it's because they've probably, in my dealings,
mm,
I, I'm I'm going to be open and I'm going to say something,
mm.
but it's people who have gone through this or done this. I realize that they've got one thing in common, and it's that they were probably previously abused,
Really?
and yeah, and they went through some sort of change, a life-changing moment.
Mm,
So I don't want to judge them, but my heart is actually open toward them,
yeah.
and I is you really think about them.
Yeah. But Kim, I would challenge you on that though, because while some of them and a good deal of them may have gone through abuse, a lot of them just are confused. They just don't know which way to go. And I wouldn't say confused in a bad way. They want to find their own way in life. So abuse does play a part in it, but then you have some people who genuinely believe that they are grown, they are born a woman, they are a man, they have male parts. And this is the confusion the world is in right now, man. This is the confusion. This is why
I
it can't spread.
yeah, well,
I wouldn't say not spread, not can't spread. I'm not talking about the homosexuality. I'm talking about the lunacy and this confusing state of human beings now,
yeah.
That
I
that's
one a
yeah,
3-year-old trying to convert a 3-year-old into a girl.
exactly.
That,
Exactly. Stop
that
that.
yeah,
How do you feel about Dwayne Wade trying to convert his son?
yeah. I think that that's so wrong.
Hmm.
And for a long time, I didn't even know. I thought it was a girl because it's only when I started following them when they had the baby,
Yeah.
Gabrielle, and I started following. It's like, okay, he has a daughter. I always thought he had just three sons.
Yeah. I'm glad he talked him out of snipping off his penis though, because I think they wanted to do like the full surgery and they wanted to turn him into a woman, but I think they stopped short of that now. I think they're gonna let him grow up a bit more and let him make his own decision.
But he made the name change a few weeks ago legal.
Yeah, the name change, yeah, but you didn't cut off the parts of the naughty bits. The naughty bits are still there.
That should not, I think there should be some kind of law that you don't do that until you're at least 21.
Exactly, exactly.
Actually, yeah, 21, 25. Because to me, when I think of, human mind growing,
Mhm.
maturing and developing, you're still kind of confused up to 23,
Exactly.
university, and you're
Because
still,
you may not want to be a woman anymore. You may just want to be a gay man. Who knows?
yeah. So, I mean, think about it for a bit. Grow up, let your hormones settle themselves. You
Yeah.
probably settle after the first quarter century.
Indeed, 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 indeed.
First
Then
quarter
you get
century, yeah.
then you know more about yourself. But
Yeah.
right now, that Zaraway doesn't know what the hell he wants right now, man. He thinks he knows what he wants, but that could change. Like for example, like what I said, he may decide he wants to grow up to be a gay man. He may still prefer the same sex, but he may prefer he wants to live as a gay man. Let's not make these life-altering decisions until we're really, really sure that he has a chance to mature in his mindset to make up this decision for himself. But then again, that's not my child. That's Dwayne Wade and Gabriel Union's. Well, it's not even Gabriel Union's child. It's Dwayne Wade's first wife's child. And
Yeah.
that's what makes it so sinister. And his first wife, she is pissed red with that man. She can't believe that Dwayne Wade is, trying to.
Monetizing the situation.
Yeah, yeah.
The
That's terrible.
thing about is like y'all trying to monetize the situation because
Yeah,
your deals and contracts waiting in the wings.
yeah,
Um, yeah.
yeah. Sickening, man.
I mean, you know, they
That's
sneeze
the
at
Hollywood.
yeah in Trinidad and in the
Yeah,
Caribbean.
yeah. That's the Hollywood Baphomet for you right there, Kim. The Hollywood Satan, the Hollywood perverse Satan. You know.
Touches the world. But I'm
Yeah, it
glad
is.
we say we are in the world but not of the world.
Exactly, exactly. I know we always go back to religion, but it is true. It is the Hollywood Satan. It is the Hollywood Baphomet.
Uh,
It is the demon, trying to drive people insane.
what's
But
up with this week we have Shelter Baptist holiday here in Trinidad.
Okay,
Shout
it's Thursday, isn't it?
Shelter Baptist Liberation Day.
It's Thursday, right?
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
Mm.
It's when they got their freedoms to celebrate and to worship freely here in Trinidad.
Now, for those of us who don't know what Shout Baptist is, what is Shout Baptist?
It's like the spiritual faith of the African community that marries Christianity.
Mm.
And they got the, because I think there was a misconception of the way they worship, because they used to sing loud and
Mm.
and they had the bell shaking and things like that. It was prohibited to
Mm.
worship that they worshiped back in the day.
Mm.
And it was only in 97,
Mm.
what year was it proclaimed under the Pandey administration. He decided, okay, you all have the freedom now to celebrate. But it was
Yeah.
actually repealed back in March 30th in 1951,
Mm.
And they had the shelter prohibition ordinance and things like that came up. So yeah, the Shelter Baptist faith in Trinidad, it goes back to the African ancestry. It's predominantly, I think, in Trinidad and I think parts of Grenada and St. Vincent.
Mm. Okay.
So
So the Shout Baptists do shout.
yeah. So I think I spoke about the Americans that came and settled in Trinidad.
Mhm.
So they were like a breakaway from the Baptist faith that came from the southern states of America. Remember, the southern states, they've got the Baptist faith.
Yes, yes, yes.
And they came to Trinidad, after the War of 1812, and they settled, they brought the Baptist faith.
Mhm.
And then they had, I think, how it was explained to me was, I think they were like a breakaway from the London Baptists and
Mm.
their religion, and they decided to go a different way.
Mm.
That it's one of my friends, she explained it clearly, and they celebrate the freedom to worship.
Mm. Okay. That's
So
cool.
that's what the day is about, and you'd see them. Now we have there's also a few other Baptists, but the Shelter Baptist is to be differentiated from the Orisha and also called the Shango Baptist. I don't know if you all heard about that.
The Shango Baptist?
Yeah.
That sounds a bit occultist there, Kim.
So, but they
Like
try to
doing a ritual?
differentiate. They're different from that. They don't want to be synonymous with that. So it's
Yeah.
different.
I can imagine, because Orisha and Shango sounds a bit like an occult, man.
Yeah, it's different for sure.
Hmm.
But
So is Orisha's practice openly in Trinidad?
yes, they do. They have their
Hmm.
churches. The Shelter Baptists, they've got their churches. Through Kamla Prasad Visasa, they were able to get the primary school and the early childhood care center. They were granted lands, and they have their school and they've got their churches. So
Okay.
they're free worship, but the day is, it's interesting that they have gotten their day to celebrate, and it shows all diversity here in Trinidad.
Yes, it does.
All kids are welcomed. In this same month, we're celebrating Lantern, the Lantern period, which is for Christians. They've got the Shelter Baptist, but it's also the month of Ramadan, which started last week, Thursday.
Mhm.
So we've got the Muslims here as well.
Mhm.
I think
That's what
last
I would like to do, Kim. I would
Was it-
love to go on the pilgrimage to Mecca. Even though I'm
Yeah.
not Muslim, I would love to go on the pilgrimage to Mecca and see what it's all about. Be a part of that experience,
I'm afraid of crowds. I've always, when I think of the pilgrimage, I think of the large crowds, and I'm afraid of crowds like that.
Mm.
Because you always hear of news reports, associated with it.
Yeah, crushes and stuff like that. Yeah, but that must be a magical experience, though. Even though they go to this shrine and it's supposed to have this black stone in the middle of it, and it's kind of like idol worship. Yeah, idol worship particularly. I still would like to go because they're still a part of that Abrahamic network of religions.
I'm not sure about it.
Hmm.
When it comes, I don't know if it's considered idolic, anything like that.
I mean, yeah, you can't really say much about it because well, I mean, they they go and they circle around that monument, you know, and supposed to have like this black stone in it in the Kabbalah. And well, of course, they recognize the Prophet Muhammad, right? But still, I don't think you have that kind of well, of course you have that kind of worship inside Christianity because people like to go to the Wailing Wall.
Wailing Wall. I was not
Yeah,
going to say it. Wailing Wall is synonymous with, you know, the way
yeah,
the
that's
direction
true.
of prayer and things like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. Yeah. So yeah, it's not really idol worship. That's you're right, Kim. All right. But Kim, there we have it though. The time has been gone. The time's gone. Any final thoughts, man?
No, I know we went on and on about music and all sorts of things. We didn't talk anything newsworthy.
No. This is just a show about us, man. Because nothing much is really happening. What could be happening? There's nothing really happening. I mean, there's the Carifta game is going to be next week, but we can talk about that next week. There's no big rush. So yeah, Kim. Thank you for joining me again for another LimeVibe Live podcast, Kim.
Not a problem. Always a pleasure.
Yes. So good night, everybody. And thank you for joining us for another LimeVibe Live podcast. If you haven't done so already, please go to our YouTube page and click subscribe or click like on any one of our videos. It really helps us out a lot. If not, you could also go to our Facebook page, LimeVibe, and you can just click like to our Facebook page. That really helps us out a lot too. So please stay tuned to us and log on to us and subscribe. Thank you so much and have a good night.